Hey guys, Morgan the Rebellious Reviewer. We talk about music, books, and movies. And today, we're going to be doing part 12 in the Album A Day series. So, as those of you who have seen the previous 11 parts know, this is me and 6 of my imaginary friends who happen to be dragons attempt at the Pokemon Genre Challenge from Rate Your Music. And basically we just pick a random Pokemon using a random generator, pick a random number using a random generator, and then pick a genre based on those two things. So, link to the genre table with all the Pokemon types and the genres linked below as usual. Today's Pokemon is Indeedee, which is a psychic/normal type. Today's genre is progressive electronic. And today's album is Pointless Reminder by Free System Projekt. Before I bring in my imaginary friends, though, allow me to give my thoughts on this album. This album is pretty good. I haven't listened to much progressive electronic, so I can't really judge how original this is. I'm sure it's not very, considering all the reviews are saying it sounds exactly like progressive electronic pioneers' Tangerine Dream. But yeah, I can't really judge that since I'm not familiar enough with the genre. As an inexperienced progressive electronic listener, I have to say, this genre has more going on than I thought. It has all sorts of instrumental switch-ups, there's some slightly faster but still atmospheric sections. Yeah, it's basically like ambient, except much more going on. And as for this album specifically, the synths all sound gorgeous, and I like the outer space feel of it. The songs are incredibly long, but they mostly manage to hold my interest, keyword being mostly. I think this might be a genre I need to explore more. With that out of the way, let's get started with the voice acting, shall we? Hi, I'm Forrest Woods, and this is Blaze Flarington, Skyler Wing, Houdini Presto, Bolt Thunderstone, and Draven Onyx. This is the 12th video in our Album of the Day series, and our genre for the day is progressive electronic. So, this is a genre that I'm a casual listener of. I enjoy what I've heard, but I don't have a super in-depth knowledge of it. So, since it's my turn to pick the album, I went to a Rate Your Music user who's a big fan of progressive electronics page and had a look at his favorites. From them, I picked this album from Free System Projekt titled Pointless Reminder. I'd never heard of this album, but it sounded interesting. After listening to it, I'm pleased to confirm that it was. The first 4 tracks on this album are nearly flawless, with all but one of them being over 10 minutes and still managing to hold my attention. The instrumental switch-ups combined with the beautiful yet suspenseful atmosphere make this album downright captivating. Track 5 isn't as good, but mostly because it breaks the flow of the album with a slightly different sound. But it's still a gorgeous track with an interesting progression. I give this album a 10 out of 10. Apparently, I need to listen to more of this genre. Yes, you do! It's a great genre. As for this album, it's incredible. The synths are gorgeous, and the compositions are complex, and the songs all progress in interesting ways. Even the weakest song here is pretty good. I wouldn't quite give it a 10, but it is close. Also, if it gets Forrest to check out more progressive electronic albums, I'm not complaining. 9 out of 10. Wow, for someone who enjoyed this album so much, you sure don't have much to say about it. There isn't much to say about it. It's just great. Fair. Anyways, I surprisingly really enjoyed this. I thought I'd find it boring since it's similar to ambient, which usually puts me to sleep, but I was wrong. This is like ambient music that actually has interesting stuff going on musically, with faster yet still atmospheric synths and some nice, attention-grabbing instrumental switch-ups. Sure, some of the songs are a bit too long, but the spacey atmosphere keeps things interesting. I probably won't be returning to this often, but I'll enjoy it when I do. 8 out of 10. You weren't the only one surprised by this album, Bolt. I was surprised too. I thought I'd find it pleasant but uninteresting. Instead, I get an album with a mysterious, suspenseful atmosphere and gorgeous synth work. Also, the space theme is a nice touch. I will say Faraday is the least interesting track, but it's still good. 9 out of 10. I'll go next since I have a feeling Houdini is going to give this album a glowing review. Go ahead. This album is boring. Sure, it has some decent synth work here and there, but overall it's just a sleep-inducing progressive electronic album that does nothing special. Maybe this is just me not being a fan of this style in general, but this did nothing for me. 5 out of 10. You would be correct about me giving this a glowing review, Blaze. I love this album. It's gorgeous for all the reasons the rest of you already said. I love the spacey atmosphere too. It's not quite a 10. Faraday is easily the least interesting song here, but it is a strong 9 out of 10. Wow, none of us had much to say about this. Well, it's hard to find things to say about an instrumental album that's essentially really good background noise. Anyway, this album gets a combined score of 50 out of 60. Normally I'd say where it ranks within our second week of album reviews, but since this is the end of week 2, I'll instead give a ranking of all 6 albums we reviewed for this series, plus 2 extras we reviewed for other series. So, we have a total of 8 albums. In 8th place, we have one of our extras, that being So Good by Zara Larsson, aka our Spotify Genres album, with 24 points. In 7th place, we have Bolt's pick, which is Pamiu Pamiu Revolution by Chiari Pamiu Pamiu with 30 points. In 6th place, we finally get to the good stuff with our other extra for the Rate Your Music genre challenge. Professional Abkhazian Folk Music by Gunda with 41 points. In 5th place, we have my pick, Static Disposal by Debris with 45 points. In 4th place, we have Houdini's pick, that being the Green Album by Orbital with 49 points. In 3rd place, we have Forrest's pick, which is Pointless Reminder by Free System Projekt with 50 points. In 2nd place, we have Blaze's pick, which is Firepower by Judas Priest with 54 points. And finally, in 1st place, we have Draven's pick, that being Curtis by Curtis Mayfield with 56 points. This means Draven gets to pick first next week, and then Blaze, and then Forrest, then Houdini, then me, and finally, Bolt. Wow, you went from 1st place to 5th. Yes! Meanwhile, you went from 2nd place to 1st. I think you're doing the best out of all of us, Draven. Yup. Anyway, I'll be picking next, so stay tuned. Anyway, let's throw it back to Morgan, shall we? And that's my video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'm Morgan the Rebellious Reviewer, and I'm out.